Should King Charles visit Archie and Lilibet in the U.S.? Take your poll and have your say with King Charles set to travel to the U.S. in 2026 for a state visit. Many royal watchers have pondered whether the monarch will journey to California to see the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and their young children, with King Charles expected to travel to the United States in April 2026 for an historic state visit. Many royal fans have been left wondering whether the monarch will take a trip to sunny California to connect with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and their young children Archie and Lilibet. While Charles's visit stateside has not yet been officially confirmed by the palace, reliable royal sources have claimed that the King and Queen Camilla will travel to America in the spring, with the visit coinciding with the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence from Britain. Sources in both Washington, D.C. and London have alleged that the plans being negotiated include a visit to the White House in late April for a string of historic events, on the condition that Charles's health allows him to travel. According to The Sun, Trump's administration is planning a string of events to mark the 250-year anniversary of the founding of the United States, with the royal visit being a major moment in the run-up to the July 4 Independence Day celebrations. While the trip and potential itinerary have yet to be confirmed, many royal watchers have started speculating whether Charles will make the journey to see his grandchildren while in the U.S., despite his fractured relationship with Prince Harry. Harry and his father have had a strained relationship since the Duke and Duchess of Sussex quit their royal duties in 2020 and relocated to California. Since then, Harry has spoken candidly about the royal family, delivering a series of public jabs against Charles, Prince William and the entire firm. Through his and Meghan's explosive 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey, the couple's Netflix docuseries in 2022 and Harry's memoir Spare in 2023, Harry has called out his family and aired numerous allegations against the royals. While Harry's relationship with Charles remains largely estranged, the father and son reunited in September last year for a 50-minute private tea at Clarence House while Harry was in the UK for the annual Well Child Awards. It is believed the meeting between them, which was the first time they had seen each other in 20 months, went well, leading many to believe that a reconciliation between the Sussexes and the royal family may be on the horizon. Despite Harry's difficult relationship with his father, the Duke of Sussex has expressed his desire for his young children, Archie and Lilibet, to get to know their grandfather and learn more about the UK. A source told The Sun, Harry has made it clear that he would love his dad to come and visit him and the family. He knows that they are strained, but he has mentioned several times a hope that his father can have a relationship with his grandchildren. Archie, 6, was born in the UK and was less than a year old when he moved to California, while Lilibet was born in the United States. It is believed that Lilibet met her grandfather Charles for the first time in 2022, when Harry and Meghan traveled to the UK with their children for the late Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee celebrations. Since then, Charles has not seen his grandchildren. At the time, a royal source claimed the meeting had been very emotional, adding that it was very, very special for Charles to spend time with his grandchildren. They said, he hadn't met Lily, his granddaughter, and so to meet her was very emotional, a very, very wonderful thing. Shamed Andrew's Royal Lodge eviction date sealed, and it's far later than planned. Disgraced Andrew was expected to evict his long-term home Royal Lodge in the coming weeks, but his exit could come a lot later thanks to some unexpected delays. Having spent his final Christmas at Royal Lodge, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is preparing to leave his home of over 20 years. The disgraced former prince, who has been cut from the royal fold, is set to move into a new property on the King's Sandringham estate. But there are issues when it comes to his eviction date. The 65-year-old was exiled from his lavish home last year after continuing outrage over his friendship with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. While it was initially thought Andrew would love out at the start of 2026, it is now believed he will have been evicted by Easter, when the royal family traditionally gather on the Windsor estate, which would at least avoid further awkward encounters. However, new reports suggest Andrew could potentially be left temporarily homeless because a new home in Norfolk may not be ready in time to receive him. According to the Daily Mail, the king's younger brother is set to make his new home at the 5-bedroomed Marsh Farm in Sandringham. But it is considered quite small and needs a lot of work doing on it to make it habitable and secure before he can move in. As a result, Andrew could be left without a place to stay for a period of time. A source told Rebecca English, the plan is that he will not beat Royal Lodge by Easter. But might there need to be an interim measure, as regards moving to Norfolk? Possibly. It seems unlikely that Andrew will be allowed to stay in Windsor during the interim period. The royals are hoping to draw a line under the Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor controversy in 2026, biographer Robert Jobson said. Whether it ends the lurid speculation about him, only time will tell, but it is doubtful. Marsh Farm is around 7 miles from the main Sandringham house, and it's said a no-fly zone over Sandringham has been extended to include the property. The much smaller property has a main house, but the 2 reception rooms and kitchen are said to need major renovations. And a royal insider has told the Express that due to the work needed, it is holding up proceedings, especially as Andrew is resisting a temporary move to another property in the meantime. They said, 6 months of works are needed before Andrew can move in, and he's strongly resisting plans to live in a temporary property until the renovations are complete. Not least because the suggested property is a fraction of the size of Royal Lodge. At the end of October, the king officially stripped his disgraced brother Andrew of his HRH style and his prince title, and removed his dukedom from the roll of the peerage over his serious lapses of judgment. The move followed the publication of a posthumous memoir by Andrew's accuser, Virginia Giuffre, and the U.S. government's release of documents from Epstein's estate. It emerged that Andrew had emailed Epstein in 2011 saying we're in this together, 3 months after he claimed he had broken all contact with the pedophile. Andrew continues to deny all wrongdoing. Princess Kate could be deployed for landmark overseas trip with William, with key role with King Charles and Prince William set to travel to the U.S. this year for official visits. Rumors have swirled that the Princess of Wales may also head stateside for an important role. Princess Kate may be handed a key role later this year, with sources claiming that the Princess of Wales may join King Charles and Prince William on a trip to the USO to charm American President Donald Trump. Advanced talks on a visit stateside by the king are said to be underway, and while the engagement has not yet been officially confirmed by the palace, reliable royal sources have claimed that the king and Queen Camilla will travel to America in the spring. Their visit will coincide with the 250th anniversary of the signing of the U.S. Declaration of Independence from Britain. As well as Charles's potential trip, William is likely to make a separate visit to the U.S. during the FIFA World Cup later in the year, which is taking place in June and July 2026. While no confirmation has yet been made by the palace on either William or Charles's stateside visits, new reports have suggested that Kate could play a key role in strengthening Britain's relationship with Mr. Trump if she were to join in on the royal overseas trip. According to The Times, Kate may join her husband for his July trip stateside, in a sign of how much her health is improving since announcing last year that her cancer is in remission, the newspaper's royal editor Kate Mansi wrote. With her health apparently improving, there has been a suggestion that Catherine and William will make a joint foreign visit this year, perhaps to the US for the 250th anniversary of independence. Queen Elizabeth II visited the US in 1976 for America's bicentennial. Catherine and Melania appear to get on well, with a shared interest in the scouting movement. It could be the sort of gold dust Sir Keir Starmer needs to continue to woo a U.S. president who seems less interested in spending his voter's money on supporting his European allies in the face of Russian aggression in Ukraine. Kate last joined William on a trip to the U.S. in 2022 when the royal couple attended the annual Earthshot Prize Awards in Boston, 2 years before announcing her cancer diagnosis. The Princess of Wales' good relationship with the U.S. president was apparent last September, during Mr. Trump's unprecedented second state visit to the UK, where he was officially welcomed to Windsor by William and Kate. While at the glittering state banquet staged in his honor at Windsor Castle, Mr. Trump, who is never short of praise, fourth Prince and Princess of Wales, said, "His Majesty has also raised a remarkable son in His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales." Really amazing. We've gotten to know you and I think you are going to have unbelievable success in future. Melania and I are delighted to visit again with Prince William and to see Her Royal Highness, Princess Catherine, so radiant and so healthy, it's so beautiful. It's really a great honor, thank you. Charles's potential U.S. trip in April would be the first BYA British monarch since 2007, when the late Queen was hosted by former U.S. President George W. Bush. It would also be the first time that Charles has visited the United States since his estranged son Prince Harry moved to California in 2020. Prince William's dark Andrew fear as true role in royal exile becomes clear. A new report has claimed that Prince William has amahor fear surrounding his disgraced uncle Andrew amid the ongoing controversy surrounding the former Duke of York. Prince William is said to be seriously concerned about Andrew. Public outcry has yet to lessen over Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's connection to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. King Charles unceremoniously stripped Andrew of his titles and royal styles in October, with a blistering statement that said these censures were deemed necessary despite the fact that Andrew had consistently denied all wrongdoing. The monarch also threw his support behind survivors of any and all forms of abuse. The release of the so-called Epstein files has continued to bring Andrew's relationships with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell into the spotlight in recent weeks, with new photographs emerging in the document dump that saw Andrew with Maxwell in Sandringham. For a long time, it has been widely reported by sources and experts alike that Prince William was at the forefront of the decision to push Andrew out of public life. Royal author Omid Scobie claimed in his book Endgame that though the Queen was the official face of Andrew's reckoning, it was Prince William who set the wheels in motion, after a civil case brought by Andrew's accuser, Virginia Giuffre, in 2022 became a snapping point for the future king, whilst Charles suffered from sleepless nights and a brotherly bias towards Andrew. More recently, reports have claimed that William wanted to freeze Othis' disgraced uncle when the time comes for the Prince of Wales to take the throne, and that he desired a much harder line than the monarch when it came to dealing with the former prince. However, a new report by royal expert Kate Mansi for The Times has shed new light on the internal dynamics of the House of Windsor over the scandal. In the whole Sari saga, William was often painted as the tough guy urging his father to put his foot down, Mansi wrote. This image of ruthless William was, I'm told, wide of the mark. The expert claimed that whilst William backed his father's decision to take away the trappings of Andrew's royal status, he was not playing a central role in the matter. Instead, the future king was deeply concerned about his uncle amid the controversy. If anything, William was deeply concerned for his uncle's mental health and how Andrew would cope after everything was taken away, Mansi claimed. Nevertheless, William realized that while Andrew had always denied any wrongdoing, he supported his father's decision to strip Andrew of his royal titles. Kate, in turn, supported her husband in the matter. William has long undertaken charity projects in the name of reducing stigma around mental health issues, and it's a cause he and his wife are passionate about. Andrew, who will be moving out of Royal Lodge this year and has reportedly had his gun license suspended, is understood to be moving to Sandringham, a 20,000-acre estate King Charles owns privately in Norfolk. His ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, with whom he currently lives in Windsor, won't be going with him. Instead, she will be sorting out her own arrangements, but she is also reported to have been struggling mentally amid the ongoing scandal. When emails emerged between her and Epstein last year, which saw her dubbed the pedophile a supreme friend, charities she had worked with for many years quickly dropped her like a hot potato, leading to one PR expert dubbing her a toxic brand. Her next children's book was quietly delayed, before being cancelled and pulped altogether, with the PR specialist pointing out this scandal could seriously impact her financial state as it went on. Royal expert Phil Dampier claimed that Fergie was left on the brink of a breakdown as she found herself in the unwelcome spotlight, so much so that her elder sister Jane flew from Australia to support Sarah during the crisis. Prince Harry's desperate wish for King Charles amid heartfelt. Archie and Lilibet hope. The King last met Archie and Lilibet when they visited the UK as part of Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee celebrations in June 2022, but friends close to Harry say he would like a reunion. Friends of Prince Harry claim he desperately wants King Charles to visit America this year to see his grandchildren. The King last saw Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet in 2022 when they visited the UK as part of Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee celebrations. It means he has only seen 6-year-old Archie a handful of times and 4-year-old Lilibet only once. Since then, Harry has been battling with the Home Office to reinstate automatic armed police protection for when he and his family visit the UK. He has not brought his children to the UK since, with Charles also not travelling to the US. But with the news before Christmas that the King's cancer treatment is to be scaled back in the new year, Harry has reportedly expressed a desire for his father to come to California to visit. Father and son last saw each other in person in September when Harry visited Clarence's house for tea while on a trip to the UK. But it seems there have been no meetups since. A source told The Sun, Harry has made it clear that he would love his dad to come and visit him and the family. He knows that they are strained, but he has mentioned several times a hope that his father can have a relationship with his grandchildren. The Mirror has contacted Harry's office for comment. Economisamid reports that Harry is also confident that his taxpayer-funded police protection when he visits the UK could be restored. The Duke of Sussex lost an appeal in May challenging the dismissal of his High Court claim against the Home Office over the decision that he should receive a different degree of taxpayer-funded protection when in the country. The legal challenge came after Harry and the Duchess of Sussex left the UK and first moved to Canada, and then California, after announcing they wanted to step back as senior royals. However, it has emerged that his security arrangements are now being reviewed after Harry wrote to Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood shortly after her appointment and submitted a formal request for a risk assessment to the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, REVECT, which is overseen by the Home Office. According to The Telegraph, sources say the feeling is positive and that the Sussex camp is cautiously optimistic that his automatic security would be reinstated. But royal author Duncan Larcombe suspects that if new threat assessment goes Harry's way, Meghan will have to make some very uncomfortable decisions. He said, the security issue has essentially been used as an excuse for Meghan not to come to the UK in the last few years. But many people think the real reason is to do with the public reaction that she'd receive over here. He continued, if the protection is put back in place for Harry and Meghan when they're on UK soil, then there's really no excuse for her to stay away, so she has to be considering doing a U-turn. She has no choice but to think about it given the new review. Harry has made it abundantly clear that the lack of official security, which usually includes round-the-clock armed security from top professional Met police officers and access to top-level intelligence, is the biggest barrier to him and Meghan coming on even a short visit to his homeland. After losing his court case last year, he said a UK return for the family of 4 would be impossible, adding, I can't see a world in which I would bring my wife and children back to the UK at this point. While Meghan, 44, has been far less vocal about the security issue than her husband, but she has given the UK a very wide berth since her last big trip here in 2022. Prince Harry's UK security review risks making Meghan Markle a target with the Duke of Sussex's UK security entitlements under review. A royal expert believes it could put a target on Meghan Markle's back if she were to return to her husband's home country after years of battling for his UK security entitlements to be reviewed. Prince Harry has finally got his wish, with the Home Office vowing to take a fresh look at his case. However, one royal expert has claimed that if the Duke of Sussex were to have his taxpayer-funded security reinstated in the UK, it may make Meghan Markle a target. Harry lost his automatic right to publicly funded police security in the UK in February 2020 after a decision by the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, RAVEC, following Harry and Meghan's decision to quit their royal duties and relocate to America. For the last 5 years, the level of Harry's security in the UK has been decided on a case-by-case basis, meaning he must give advance notice of his visits so a threat assessment can be made. The Duke of Sussex has long fought against the arrangement and has been involved in a lengthy legal battle against the UK government, arguing that he and his family face significant security threats and that the new arrangements are unjustified and inferior. But, according to new reports, his security arrangements for his visits to the UK are undergoing a fresh review, with the Home Office initiating a new threat assessment. According to a source close to the Sussexes, Harry is confident that his armed police protection when in the UK will be reinstated. While the Duke of Sussex is optimistic that security while in his home country will be restored, former BBC royal correspondent Jenny Bond believes that if he were to be granted such security, it seems unlikely that Meghan would join him on a trip to the UK. Harry has long claimed that the issue of security in his home country has been the main obstacle in the way of a reconciliation between the Duke and the wider royal family, with the reinstatement of the security measures meaning the door would be open for Harry to spend as much time as he likes with his estranged father and brother. Writing for the paper, Bond said that many in the UK would be happy to see a reconciliation between Harry and his family, but claimed she is less convinced that the British public would give Meghan a positive reception. Jenny said, "Any visit by Meghan would need to be carefully curated and monitored. She may not be in the same physical danger, but she's more likely to be the target of a verbal backlash than Harry, who still has a way of endearing himself to the crowds. If I were her, I'd give the UK a miss. She's clearly happy at home in California. Why wouldn't she be? She's free, she's wealthy, she has a husband who adores her and children she loves. Why court hostility over here?" Jenny added. "Harry and the kids can pop over and see Grandpa. Archie and Lilibet can take a peek inside the palace walls their ancestors have inhabited. And then they can all head back to the sunshine." The royal expert previously said that Harry deserves the taxpayer-funded protection when in his home country, given that the same security measures are given to former politicians. She told the paper, "Security I offered to a former prime minister who served barely any longer than a lettuce takes to wilt, then surely the son of the king deserves the same?" Prince Harry is asking for the Metropolitan Police to protect him and, if he were to bring them, his family on occasional visits to the UK. It does not seem an unreasonable request. He cannot change the fact that he is the king's son. Prince Harry confident of huge victory in UK security battle Withish nailed on Prince Harry's security arrangements while in the UK have been reviewed after he wrote to the Home Secretary asking for a new security review, and the ruling is expected in the coming weeks. Prince Harry is confident he has finally won his fight to have his automatic armed police protection restored when he visits the UK, according to sources close to the Sussexes. A ruling, reportedly thought to be in the Duke of Sussex favor, is set to be announced in the coming weeks after a lengthy battle to have his taxpayer-funded security while in the UK restored. In May, Harry lost his case at the Court of Appeal against the Home Office to have his automatic police protection restored after his security arrangements when in the UK changed when he and wife Meghan quit their royal roles in the UK. However, last month it emerged that his security arrangements were being reviewed after he wrote to Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood shortly after her appointment and submitted a formal request for a risk assessment to the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, REVEC. And now a source close to the Sussexes told the Mail on Sunday that following the new risk assessment, it's now a formality. Sources at the Home Office have indicated that security is now nailed on for Harry. During his previous High Court case, Harry argued that his security situation in the UK made it impossible for him to safely bring his wife Meghan and their children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, back to his home country. In an interview after the Court of Appeal handed down the judgment last May, he told the BBC, "For the time being, it's impossible for me to take my family back to the UK safely. I will continue on with a life of public service. So I will always support the charities and the people that mean so much to me. I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point, and the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything you know. I love my country, I always have done, despite what some people in that country have done. So you know, I miss the UK, I miss parts of the UK. Of course I do. And I think it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show my children my homeland. At present, Harry must inform the Metropolitan Police a month before travelling to the UK, who look at his security needs on a case-by-case basis. But his lawyers have previously argued this has put his life at stake. In October it emerged that a known stalker of Harry came within yards of him during his visit to the UK last September. They were reportedly found hiding in the toilets of a swanky London hotel just minutes before he was due to arrive for an event. It came after the same woman is said to have been body blocked by Harry's security just days later during his trip to the UK last month. A source added, "If UK knew about the kind of threats Harry and his children have been getting, then you would understand why he doesn't want to bring the kids over until police protection is granted." A spokesman for the Sussexes declined to comment. A government spokesman said, "The UK government's protective security system is rigorous and proportionate. It ISOR long-standing policy not to provide detailed information on those arrangements, as doing so could compromise their integrity and affect individual security." Meghan Markle suffers website glitch that exposes exactly how much Jamshes sold. The Duchess of Sussex's as ever brand has exceeded everyone's expectations despite a recent online error that exposed her confusing sales figures less than a year after Meghan Markle launched her lifestyle brand as ever. A source has claimed that the brand has exceeded everyone's expectations, despite a recent online glitch leading many to believe that the Duchess of Sussex's business was struggling. While neither Meghan or the As Ever team have released official sales figures, a glitch on her online shop exposed the numbers of remaining stock for most items. The error revealed that since launching in March 2025, Meghan has sold almost 1 million jars of her famous jam. A source familiar with Meghan's business said that the Christmas period proved to be particularly successful for the brand. Speaking to Newsweek, the source said, "It's exceeded everybody's expectations in terms of how well it's gone, I would say, across the holiday period. That period has been incredibly successful." The remarks come after social media sleuths claimed they were able to discover inventory numbers by attempting to add unusually large quantities of products to their online baskets. These actions would trigger the site to display the maximum quantity available. Commenting on the online glitch on As Ever's site, which has now been fixed, the source added that the figures have been misrepresented, and the items for sale are only a portion left of what was ordered to sell. They said, "People are attempting to paint a negative narrative and are choosing how they present things, choosing how they share information to fit a particular narrative to perpetuate certain negative storylines, and this is just another example of how people have to be really discerning with the way that they not only consume media, but the way that they interpret data and facts that are shared with them, because they often don't present the whole picture." The sentiment was echoed by another industry source who told The Sun, "I think it's fair to say business isn't just successful, it's flying off the shelf." Meghan inadvertently revealed that 1 million jars were ordered for that one product, and has only 130,000 left. It doesn't take a genius to work out that 87% of what has been ordered has sold. The apparent glitch on the As Ever website has since been resolved, with the site introducing purchase limits and restrictions on bulk orders, with customers now limited to 50 spread gift boxes or 20 bottles of wine per transaction. The glitch sparked a major conversation online, as many claimed the Duchess had been lumbered with 137,435 jars of her famous jam. Before it emerged this was the number left over from an order for 1 million. According to the insider source, Meghan is planning on introducing new products to her As Ever range and restocking fan favorites, with rumors also swirling that she could be expanding her business to countries outside the US. The source said, "That large stock order was obviously part of the international expansion plans that Meghan has for As Ever. Given how much has gone after a hugely successful festive period, it's likely they'll have to beef up the stockroom to meet demand when the product is made available in other international territories." Meghan has previously spoken about the difficulty of stock planning when early releases sell out quickly. In an interview with Bloomberg's The Circuit in August, she described sell-outs as a double-edged sword. The Duchess also said as ever increased inventory tenfold ahead of a subsequent drop, only for it to sell out within hours.